I never thought I was going to tell this story publicly because it's just like so much. But also it's so insane that I feel like I would be doing a public disservice not telling it. And also I learned so many valuable lessons from this. So I feel like it's also important to tell, but it's also insane. I'm at brunch with my friends and I get up to go to the bathroom, and on my way there, I run into this man, let's call him Jim, who's also on his way to the bathroom. This man is a little bit older than me, so he's in his early 30s, so handsome, so well dressed, just like very a put together person. You can tell he's like well off, wearing a really nice watch. And we start kind of chatting as we're walking to the bathroom. And this man had mad riz, like so charming, just like funny, amazing, like kind of one of those personalities where you're like, something has to be wrong with you. Spoiler, there was. Just because he just seems so perfect. And I literally went back to the table and was like, girls, I'm in love. I found my husband. I met my soulmate in line for the bathroom. And obviously I'd given him my number, and we planned a date, but after I met him, I was like, love at first sight, baby, it's real. So we start seeing each other, nothing like super, super serious. It's not like he's my boyfriend, but he travels a lot for work. So he would only be back in town every month and a half to 2 months when he would take me out on a date. And the dates he would take me out on were amazing. He would take me to the nicest restaurants. Like, we would just do the coolest things ever. And his dates were so thoughtful and so intentional. And I truly was like, this is my husband. Like, this is my husband. Like, I was head over heels for this man. But the only thing was I just like did not see him that often. He didn't have any social media, which makes sense. Like, he is in his early 30s. So I didn't think that was too weird. And every time this man would see me, he would give me a piece of jewelry, and not just like any jewelry. It was always so nice. And I always told him that he shouldn't do that. It like kind of made me uncomfortable just because it was so nice, like diamonds, gold, like very expensive things that I would never be able to just like buy for myself. But he would always be like, oh, when I was in XYZ city, I saw this and I just thought it would look beautiful on you and I had to get it for you. So I think I'm literally living in like a Hallmark movie. I'm living my dream life. This is amazing. We're planning our first trip together to go to the Bahamas. I'm like, this is incredible. He is going to stop traveling for work so much, and he's going to be here more full time, and then he's going to be my boyfriend, and we're going to get married, and everything's going to be perfect. Spoiler, that is not what happened at all. Honestly, like the only red flag I ever really got from him was that he didn't have a house in the city that I lived in. He just kind of had this apartment condo kind of thing. And it just didn't seem very homey to me. Like, I was just like, this is so weird that you, like, this is your main home. This is the main city you live in. And it just didn't seem homey at all. But I kind of brushed it off because he travels so much that I'm like, okay, I guess it makes sense that this place isn't homey because you're not here that much. And now to the day that my entire fantasy life crumbled. It's important to note that at this time, I was public on Instagram. I'm not anymore. But at this point, I was. And I was at a coffee shop doing some work and just like posted a photo of my coffee and tagged the coffee shop I was at. So as I'm sitting there working, a woman comes and sits down next to me and starts chatting with me. And I'm like, girly, you don't see that I'm busy. But I'm trying to be nice, and she's just asking me questions. And finally, she's like, I love your necklace. Where did you get it? And I was like, oh, actually, like, a guy I'm seeing got it for me. And she goes, Jen? And when I tell you my heart dropped, I've never felt my heart physically drop like that in my life. And she sees the look on my face, and she immediately bursts out into tears. So I know what's going on. And I want to burst out into tears, obviously, but I'm like, keep it together, because I see that there is a wedding ring on her finger. And I'm like, he did not make vows to you. Like, you cannot cry right now. You're not the one that should be crying. So I'm sitting there like trying to keep it together. So this is the story I get. Obviously, that is his wife. He lives in a house with her. That is why that condo apartment thing looked so much like it wasn't lived in. It wasn't. He used that as his office. She said that in the past, he cheated on her before as he traveled, but they went to couples counseling and it had been way better in recent years. But lately, she started getting a weird feeling again. And she said she really knew something was off when her jewelry started going missing. And the minute she said this, I'm like, oh no, Jim, you didn't do this. She said that the jewelry that went missing was the jewelry that she didn't wear very often, but like a woman can tell when her jewelry starts going missing. And when she asked him about it, he was like, oh, I noticed that the jewelry you don't wear as often was getting tarnished, so I brought it to get cleaned at the jeweler. And I didn't want to tell you, but they lost it. I mean, I guess that's as good as a lie as you can come up with. Like, I don't know what he was supposed to do there. So she said that earlier that week, the feeling just got so overwhelming that something was up, that when he was in the shower, she went through his phone. And she said it was so clean. Like, there was nothing there, no incriminating text, nothing. Like, this man did a good job covering his tracks. Except the one thing that she noticed is that he had the Instagram app downloaded. So she clicks on the app and sees that the account he has is like a fake account. It's like one of those like lurker accounts. It's not like an account for him. And it doesn't follow anybody. It doesn't have any followers, no posts. But she went into the search and saw that my account was the most recent search on his Instagram. And on my most recent post, she saw that I was wearing her missing necklace. When she told me that, I felt absolutely sick to my stomach. Apparently, after he got out of the shower, she confronted him and he denied. And she just said that she'd been watching my like Instagram stories the last few days and was like, I'm so sorry. I just saw you were here and I got in my car and I came and I just needed to talk to you. And I was like, girl, do not apologize, because I mean, I feel like I would have done the same thing. You got to get answers. And she was so nice. She knew that I had no idea and I felt horrible. And she was just the sweetest ever. She was like, honestly, keep all the jewelry. I don't wear it and I don't want it anymore. And I was like, I don't want it. I don't want it. So I did give all the jewelry back, because I did not want jewelry under those circumstances at all. I was like, if she wants to sell it, if she wants to do it, but they're hers. I don't want them. I actually had dinner plans at the gym the next day, and she told me that she wanted to confront him by being the one at the reservation. So when he showed up, it was her at the table instead of me. So the only communication I had with him after this event was texting him 15 minutes before the reservation that I was there, that I immediately blocked his number and haven't talked to him since. I have no idea what happened. I saw her later that day because I returned the jewelry, but after that, never spoke to either of them again. So no idea how they're doing now. The following week, I did get a bouquet of flowers from Jim that said, the card said something like, I'm so sorry, please let me explain. I don't know, I trashed them. I was like, this is absolutely insane that you're sending these right now. The card was also like, it's not what it looks like. I think it's exactly what it looks like. I learned from this that when you're seeing somebody, even if there's really no red flags, you need to do a lot more background research into them than I ever thought that I would need to do. Now, before I go out with anybody, I am so diligent on making sure they're not married before I go on dates with anybody, because it's just terrible. It's a terrible experience for everyone involved, and being in that situation is horrible. Don't let this situation happen to you before you start being diligent about who you're going on dates with. Start so that it doesn't happen in the first place, because it's awful. And to Jim, I hope that you have the day you deserve. Tomorrow, I'm gonna ruin his life. I've been with my fiance for over 3 years, and I would have done anything for him. Actually, I have done everything for him. I've moved across the country for him. I've given up job opportunities. I've supported both of us while he decided he wanted to go back to school all of a sudden. Oh, and what does he do to thank me? Cheats on me with not just one, but 2 different women. Now, I found out about a month ago. The first, a TA at his university, but the second, his best friend's girlfriend. Actually disgusting. Now, I've been completely supporting him while he was in school, which I was happy to do because I'm a supportive girlfriend. But to find out the whole time when he was studying late, he was with his TA, disgusting. I mean, at least his student loans are in his name, so I don't have to deal with that, but I just feel so disgusting about the whole thing. Now, even though I've known about him cheating for over a month, he has no idea I know. And that's because I've been planning. And tomorrow is the day that his entire world burns. I've planned a dinner party and invited his whole family. He thinks that we're going to be announcing our engagement. But really, I'm going to be exposing him in front of everyone. During the dinner party, my brother is coming, picking up our car that's in my name, that's going to be packed with all of my things, which is basically all of our stuff because everything we own is mine. Oh, and when he checks the joint bank account, yeah, that's going to be drained too. I mean, he can't be mad about it. It's all my money anyway. And when I stand up and say that I want to make an announcement, he's going to think that I'm going to tell everyone that we're engaged. Really, I'm announcing my departure from his life. Let me tell you, a girl can get a lot done in a month. I've already lined up a new job out of state and a new place to live. I've bought myself out of the lease. I don't know what he's gonna do. I've created individual binders for all of his family members that's filled with every single text message and every single piece of proof I have that he's cheating on me, especially the ones relating to his best friend's girlfriend. I'm also gonna tell him that I've already reported that he's having a romantic relationship with his TA, which is absolutely against the student code of conduct. So, kind of upset I'm not gonna see the fallout from that one. I'll also be delivering a special little message from his best friend of 20 plus years that he never wants to speak to him again and he's dead to him. Oh, and not just his best friend, his entire friend group. I mean, this man's gonna have no one left. And after that, I'm walking out of the house, never looking back, and he will never see or hear from me ever again. Listen, if you bite me, I'm gonna bite back 10 times harder.